All right, new city, new snacks. We're now over to Udaipur.
Okay, so after what I feel like is a bit of a wasted day in Jaipur, what can you do? You have to put your health first sometimes, and you can't lament about that because that is really number one, right? I'm on my second sleeper bus to go to Udaipur. It's an overnight one. It, do you know what? I can't even tell if it's on time or if it's off time. The bus system here is a bit weird, but you just got to be on it with calling them and chasing them up and so on. But anyways, I booked a sleeper bus. I booked the top deck. I think that might be a mistake again, but that's one that I didn't know about before, because it's just going to move around a lot and my tummy's going to do bare bits and pieces after it's not even recovered. But guys, this one's really nice. Check it out. Let me show you. Hold up. They all have curtains and a screen. Curtains and the screen, top deck, bottom deck, all really nice and clean, really clean. You've even got a light, plug socket, aircon which works. But yeah, so all functional, clean mattress, a rug to sleep on. They even provide you with a blanket. And me being me, I just like to keep all my luggage with me, so because I'm only a small guy anyway, so I'll easily fit. But yeah, not bad at all. Interior, very, very nice. Oh, look at the seat as well. So I think I'm going to have to spend most of the time sitting because that's how I feel least sick rather than lying down.
I mean, to be fair, they all got decent. And after that, that first one was just not a good indicator of it.
But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. So let's hope for another night that doesn't kill me with vomiting. Because I could really do with having a bit of a... I could really do with just eating my snacks. I really want my snacks. I just really want my snacks. Packet of crisp and chocolate, nothing major. And then tomorrow in Udaipur, I've actually got 2 days there, 2 nights, I think, to actually sleep over, fully recuperate. And the same for the next 3 or 4 destinations I'm going to be staying over, taking it easy each time. So anyways, I'll catch you guys later on. Bye!
And that was my journey to Udaipur, which landed quite early in the morning. I reckon it got to Udaipur around, I want to say like 5:30 a.m. in the morning, which obviously had an impact on my Airbnb, but I did book an Airbnb at that time.
I arrived in Udaipur at 6 a.m. on the dot. This bus, a total different experience. I mean, I showed you around it last night, but I slept on it the whole night. Literally woke up, missed this rest stop completely. Woke up on the last stop at 6 a.m. Caught an auto to the house, 250 rupees. Still think it might have been a bit much, but I really don't know regionally how rates change and stuff. But the guy seemed like he was ready to walk away because I wasn't going to pay 250, and I was like, I need to go to this place. Anyways, here's the room. Let me stand in one corner. It's beautiful. Main door. You're gonna have to excuse the mess though because I came in and I showered because I felt icky, and I decided that I'm going to sleep for 2 hours. It's now 9:30 in the morning. Nice huge bed. I think that's queen or king size. I think it's going to be a king size. Balcony. What a beautiful sunrise. Nice little garden. It's really quite peaceful around here. Anyways, welcome to my walk-in wardrobe. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't use this. I think it's still got things like bits and pieces in them. But yeah, it is actually a walk-in wardrobe. And then you have the bathroom. Ensuite.
Nice room though. So basically, this was an Airbnb that I found, and it was it has living hosts and a senior auntie and uncle. These children are grown up and kind of moved out and stuff. So it was a senior couple that kind of were hosting me and their house help as well. I miss out on experiences like, for example, they would sometimes do cooking out on a clay oven or a stove outside, outdoor cooking, typical like traditional Rajasthani food and stuff. Dal bati, churma, and things like that. But I said no to all of it because I really wanted it, but I said no to all of it because I needed to settle my stomach. So I just said like, I'm gonna need to have like no spices, really, really plain khichdi and stuff. So To be fair, Aunty did that. I think every night. So I asked them for breakfast, and for breakfast it was just tea and toast. Please, as much as I would love everything that you're offering, tea and toast is the only way that I'm going to be able to settle this stomach. That sadly, but then also, oh my days, it feels like it was annoying because everything in Rajasthan in terms of their street food was, you could smell it, and I went to all the places as well, the street fairs, that you could smell it and then you could see it being cooked in front of you, etc. But again, because my stomach was so bad, I just had said no to everything. Hi, look at this. I love jamun for dinner. They didn't see you freshly made on the streets. So that's what I mean by experiences I missed out on, sadly. But you just have to, again, look after that health, because I still had the majority of India yet to go. I'd only done a quarter by now, or rather a quarter of that cycle. This is in the morning. I think Ug was dropping me off somewhere.
So we've come to Sadbhav Seva Foundation that uncle and auntie have kind of set up. Sadbhav means brotherhood, Seva is to serve, so to serve the brotherhood, and he's doing a lot of environmental work. So he's brought me to see, because he heard that I was a teacher in my past life, he's brought me to see some of the work that they do, and I'm excited to see it. Let's go.
Oh, he's not dropping me off. We're going to. So he volunteers at a local school / schools, because he does this really kind of like an environmental. He's part of this environmental charity, and he goes in and he raises awareness about it and stuff. And he was like, "Oh, you used to be a teacher. Why don't you come along?" So I thought, okay, yeah, why not? And that's what we did, because you can.
वन विलक्षण विद्या है कुदरत की, वन विलक्षण विद्या है कुदरत की, इस अमानत को खास रहने दो, इस अमानत को खास रहने दो.
You can take the boy out of education, but you can't take.
You know what I mean? Once a teacher, always a teacher.
Just can't get away from it. Which is also quite cool though, because if you have a particular strength or a talent and whatnot, and you want to get an experience of the local culture, especially in places like India, and I'm sure many others, they will lap up the fact that you're a teacher from the West, for example, and because they want to see what it's like, how different it is. Safeguarding foods, I find it quite not strange, but it's typical of every school I've been to in Southeast Asia. The day can be it feels unstructured to me. I'm used to like period 1, period 2, but it feels like they can kind of create it as they go along every day. So because auntie and uncle were there, they thought, all right, we'll pull the kids up together then for a surprise assembly. And it turned into a bit of an assembly. Just for the boys, though. The girls, I don't think had started. I can't remember what the structure was, but there was a difference in terms of schooling, the boys and the girls and their timetable.
I think I'm always fascinated by the education system and how different it is. And yet, obviously, the end goals are all the same wherever you get educated.
Yeah.
But it's such a different experience, I think, here compared to what we're so used to in schools. Like in school now, like you were saying, period 1, period 2, it's so robust. It's so you cannot break that system, whereas here you can break the system and it's still working. You're still receiving an education
in some ways, but then they're robust in other ways. For example, like with their examination or assessment techniques, it's not how we would do it in this. It's very much surprise test on the dot, stand up, what's the answer to such and such. So that it's still quite old school in that sense. So that was day 1 of my first full day in Udaipur.
So I've just finished the Pratap Gaurav Kendra Museum, otherwise known as Vijaygarh Museum or Vijaygarh Palace, sorry. It was really interesting. A lot of kind of the typical biases that you'd expect to see in this country, but it is what it is. The museum itself has been done really nicely. It's really well looked after. Great way to learn about Indian history, actually. A couple that I was with in the group kind of complained that it's too religious, like there's so much more to India than just talking about the temples, but most of the Indian history was about the temples and whatnot. But it is a, I suppose the beginning part of it was a lot to do with the Mughal and the Hindu divide and the history behind that. But anyways, I think I'm going to call it a day after this last one here. So I've done the Vijaygarh. I'm going to go to Shilpagram. I've just been dropped off, which is apparently an arts and cultural centre, which is a bit more up my street. I'm getting a bit tired of history and museums and forts now. So yeah, that's where we're at. Shilpagram. I'm not entirely sure if they'll allow cameras inside because some places are really funny about it. We'll see how it goes. After that, I think I'm going to try and find a sauna or a spa of some sort because I need to start spending some money on me and homing in tonight for a home cooked meal, hopefully something that will settle the stomach. So I'll catch you later on.
So Shilpagram was this cultural music festival. I think I said at that time, yeah, I was getting a bit tired of the history. The couple that was with me in the museum were like, yeah, this is really quite religiously orientated rather than, you know, historically. It felt there was like a bit of a bias, but you know, that's what they felt. Obviously, they know their country better than I do. So Shilpagram was great because basically it was like a fair of local artists, but they come from around India.
Yeah.
I think it was internationally recognized under the. Don't even quote you on that because there was something happening at the time, something global that even like Emirates and UK were part of. So there was like wooden architecture, furnishings and craft, clocks.
You always go, like I mentioned, you always go for handicraft stuff and like homemade, handmade, stuff like that. Why is it? Why?
Always got to support the local economy, lads, because that's what keeps the economy strong, supporting local. It gives people jobs, it gives people meanings. You pass on that through families and generations. From a sociological point of view, shopping locally has so much benefits that in terms of rejuvenating society.
Beginning से end तक process क्या है ये बनाने में? और आप अकेले हो कि नहीं?
बिगिनिंग रॉ मटेरियल होता है भाई, उसको पहले फोल्ड करते हैं, उसके बाद इंडिगो से मार्किंग करते हैं, फिर लेडीज को एक एक थ्रेड दे देते हैं, वो अलग अलग थ्रेड से बांधती है धागे से, कॉटन के धागे से। उसके बाद किसी भी कलर में डीप करके धागे इस तरह से खींच कर खोलते हैं तो वहाँ पर बूंद रहता है।
अच्छा,
इट्स नोन एज बांधनी।
बांधनी ये गुजरात में भी फेमस है ना?
गुजरात का कुछ अलग शैली होता है, हमारा राजस्थान का अलग शैली।
अच्छा, आप कितने सालों से कर रहे हैं काम?
ये 20 इयर्स हो गए।
20 years।
और ये 4th फादर से चल रहा है हमारा। घर में जितने भी मेंबर्स हैं सभी वही बनते हैं।
घर में जो भी है दूसरे देशों से आते हैं ऑर्डर?
बिल्कुल आते हैं।
नाइस।
G20 का जो मीटिंग हुआ था हमारे यहाँ शिल्पग्राम में हुआ था, आपके बोर्ड पर से।
So we see here that my friend here, Mohammed Amir, is the guy who makes all of these. This is called a process called bandhani, which is otherwise known as tie and dye. Now, it's a family-run business with 4 fathers, and everyone in the household gets involved essentially in the following tie and dye process. But as we know, it's quite popular in Rajasthan. It's quite a cultural artifact, and he was even featured in G20. He basically set up his stall there and talked about his cultural artifacts and cultural work here. I think that's pretty much what Shilpagram is about, celebrating local culture, celebrating local arts, which we love.
So he was a tie and dye bandhani and dupatta maker, and I was asking him, like, I think he learned it from his family, his father. We learned it from his father and so on. They go around the country selling their products and making them, of course. I asked him, like, when I was going to buy something from him, I asked him what his favorite was. So he said me,
The most fun bits of the culture in one space.
yeah, I guess so. But it was still quite commercialized because they're performing for an audience, isn't it? Had it been like a family wedding, that would have been a bit more authentic, I feel. But how are I really going to get access to that?
As you know, I'm a huge fan of anything water featuring. The sound of water is just so healing. So I thought, do I want to go to here? Do I not? Do I want to go to here? Do I not? I'm having a bit of a chill out day. But I knew that the water features would be the thing that would calm me down. Already I'm loving it.
aside from all the tourists. Just the sound of that trickling water.
I did a bit more sightseeing, and then I went to a sauna because my skin was doing really bad, as you can see. So I needed to kind of detox out all of the toxins from the food poisoning and stuff.
And also, after we have finished, you can see my skin looks very different at the moment. But that's just because it's I've just come out of the hammam. I didn't really want to go for a Turkish experience when you're in Rajasthan, but I was desperate for some kind of you could say I was desperate for some kind of sweat and sauna to get rid of all the fever and stuff that was happening with me. Anyway, so this is Udaipur, and it feels, I have to say, I mean, it's a big thing to say when you're making these big statements. I think I'm losing what to say because I'm kind of walking against the traffic, but what I'm trying to say is Udaipur definitely feels a lot more organized. It's definitely quieter, there's less pollution. There's less urban like traffic and noise and chaos compared to Amritsar or Jaipur. But as you can see the streets, the shops down here. I'm walking down to Lake Pichola. I should have been about maybe 20 minutes by rickshaw or auto. But I decided to firm it and do a half-hour walk and see from there basically. Hi. Look at this. Gulab jamun. Being freshly made on the streets. But yeah, so that's where we're at, and we're gonna take it down to Lake Pichola for hopefully a nice sunset. But what you can see right now is the organized chaos Udaipur and my glowing it from a lovely hammam experience, and I feel a little bit better, but I'm not sure I want to risk it by eating street food just yet. So I'll catch you at Lake Pichola now. Bye.
That wasn't even the full lake. That was just out the outside of the lake.
Oh.
This is the full lake.
Oh, wow. How did Udaipur kind of come into the rest of the India journey?
It was probably my transition it was definitely my transition from going solo to being more social, because Mumbai was a different vibe-ish. Sorry, I still have Ahmedabad to go after this, but it was a transitional phase in that I was coming into my body. I was kind of, I guess you could say, rising from the ashes, getting rid of the fever, losing some of that sweat and the toxins, etc. So it felt like a kind of rebirth, ready to start Ahmedabad, which Ahmedabad I was still a bit in, but Mumbai was much better. So it was a transitionary phase, but it was needed because it was quiet and healing and wholesome.
I'm really glad you could see those loose motions and the vomiting as poetic like that. That's the perspective we all need in life.
Is that what I mentioned in the journal?
No.
We went from loose motion. Listen, there is a beauty in letting go. Your body's letting go of all the toxins so that you can rebirth.
I'm here for it. So he's a phoenix now, guys.
Yeah, I'm a phoenix now.
Yeah.
Is that the end of Udaipur?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, catch you on the next video for Ahmedabad.